USDA?
We would have to have, usually the USDA looks, I believe their recommendation is at least 10% of it, of the project costs come from some other commercial bank lending. The refinancing is really by choice. We're looking at that, and again, that's our plan.
But you can't throw that back into the new USDA is what you're saying.
Correct. That would have to be separate of the US.
That's why you're saying that's probably going to be 5 that we got to come up with
from a commercial bank lending, right? 5. The refinancing, 4.4, and then 560,000.
So the 5 gives you options to go to the major banks and play one against another and get your best deal.
Bingo. That's exactly correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Hopefully I didn't say anything on the turn there.
No, and I mean, we've had.
I mean, if it was only $1 million, it's less exciting.
Right. And again, and same right to your point, the reason for refinancing or our plan in there, the 4.4 million, we've had a good relationship with Midwest One Bank in Des Moines. They were the original lender. That was originally $5,250,000 when we did it. They've been very supportive, but they do have the right by those loan agreements to sign off and approve any additional debt. So they have that ability as we try to do this USDA or any other financing to simply say no or help dictate the terms. So if you at least set up that you could refinance that, it kind of puts us back in the driver's seat of what ultimately happens with that. So while that's a pretty good rate we've got on that loan right now, it allows us to at least lock in again with a good rate if we can get it, plus puts us in the driver's seat for negotiations with any banks out there.
So really the building project is 10 million, not 14, when we talk about it.
Yeah, 10.3, yep. With all the design costs and financing costs in there,
That makes
yes.
a difference in my mind. And I'm wondering, as you did the plan, the cost per square foot for this kind of space can't be as horrendous as an OR or something like that. But time has passed, so maybe costs have gone up anyway. How did it balance out in terms of what it cost for a square foot of this project?
Yeah, current cost of square foot on the clinic came out at $408, and then the PT clinic renovation, $252 a square foot.
Healthcare hasn't gotten any cheaper.
Hasn't gotten cheaper.
And that's assuming that all the costs went up about 20% in the last 6 months.
Yeah, so we had started to have some of those conversations, Rex, about what you're currently seeing in the space right now.
It's not a good situation,
Yeah,
but
right.
on the same token, it doesn't mean it's going to get better in 6 months either,
Exactly.
right?
Yep.
So regardless of the people, it's no different than when we have a hearing on somebody fixing a sidewalk or whatever, gravel's doubled, concrete's gone up. We eventually got to say we still got to do it. So, hopefully you'll be able to at least start getting some stuff and we'll get it done. So if you get the money approval in next calendar quarter, isn't that what you said? Calendar quarter.
Right.
We break ground 21, 22?
21. We would start this summer with the demolition of the senior center, which the city declared extra surplus. That is not tied into this, but that is the first step to create the additional parking that we'll lose with the addition. So that would start the process and then start in calendar year 21 and wrap up, best case right now with the plan that we've done, spring of 23.
So, and this is a question I'll ask that maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but isn't this where you've got it labeled respiratory care and vaccines right now? Isn't this where you're coming out?
That's correct.
Okay, so that in case, I think 9,000 people in town know where that place is now. They didn't know where that place was a year ago. But they know where that place is, but that is going to be where the construction starts and then it come out towards the highway.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other questions for Darryl?
I certainly like the way that this gives you more room to maneuver for subsequent future needs for the community. And kudos particularly for putting a canopy out there, because the last time we did a major project and shaved off the canopy to save some money, that was the biggest complaint to try to get in from out of the Iowa weather, so I'm glad
Right.
to see that's there.
Yeah.
It'll look good from the highway too.
Absolutely, and it is our plan to put a canopy on the west entrance.
Oh, really?
And we had planned that this fiscal year, but knowing this plan was out there, we want the two to match. So we'll have the same firm
Oh, sure.
drawing and doing the construction on both, so
That's
they'll
terrific.
be the same.
How old is the current facility?
Which part?
Well,
From 75?
yeah, but here's, and I just noticed this though, but asbestos abatement and testing, $76,000. Why would you even have asbestos? I'm just curious.
Senior center.
Yeah.
But you just said that the two projects were separate.
Yeah, they include asbestos in there, but
I mean,
it's unlikely there's gonna be any in there.
Okay, I was just,
Yeah.
I just saw that and then
Right.
you had said they were separate.
Right.
And I'd be the
Yeah.
only, okay, good enough,
Yeah.
guys.
That part of the building is 1994.
Okay.
I also think the soft glass, they're trying to build some cushion. Is that a good word? You could put cushion costs.
They're gonna have some serious utility issues there.
There's gonna be some
They're gonna need
issues
some
that are not
cost.
in the budget, not in the pictures that they're gonna have.
Yeah, but I see
Hopefully
this-
they can fit them in soft
I
costs.
see miscellaneous for 2,800, there's their question.
No, that was for Dick's pen and stuff.
One of the engineering headaches has to be, because that's where all the geothermal comes in, and if they got all that resolved in plant.
Gas, sprinkler systems and everything.
Yeah, all the major mechanical components there, and thanks, Mike, I didn't mention that part of this project obviously entails expanding our geothermal wells to meet the new increased square footage. But when the last addition was completed, it was sized to the point where we notice in the summer that it's hotter than what we'd want it to be. So we're gonna take this opportunity while we're digging the additional wells to put in more wells for the current square footage to right size it for the facility.
I'm sure your utility savings in years like this past one have been very good.
Yeah, the geothermal wells have just been very efficient for us, yeah. There's almost 200 wells out there now, and we'll be adding about 30 more, so, when it's all said and done, so.
Daryl, when you bring this over to the paper, you gotta sign, make sure there's plenty of ink in that pen.
Is that right? Okay, we can do that.
You're gonna do some extra push-ups to get you out.
I just wanna say one thing, that, you know, when you really stop and think about it, and boy, it's very, very kind of an edible issue and noticeable. We've really got a nice hospital in this city. I know I worked with Mike many years ago on doctors coming in, and here's another example of moving ahead for the city of Lamar is what they've got to work with. And I just want to send, on behalf of the council, I just want to send a kudos back to all your employees, particularly with what you've done within this last year with this COVID thing. And I happened to go out and get my shot the other day, or 2 shots, and Gail wanted to give me 3, but I said I couldn't believe how organized they were. I mean, they must have a lot of people. And it speaks very highly of the employees that you have.
Thank you for that, Mayor. We'll be sure to pass along the message.
Please do.
One question, gentlemen, in addition for the specialty clinics, they're getting further away from the lab, but is there gonna be a blood lab or any lab work done down in that?
Yep, so part of what will entail on that first floor is an entry into the existing family medicine clinic.
Yeah.
And we have lab and radiology services right in the family medicine clinic. So it'll be adjacent, and the workflows, our team have been involved with that, and it'll work good.
Good.
Yep.
Any other questions for him? Thank you very kindly, gentlemen, for presenting this program to us, and we appreciate it.
Thank you.
There's some sort of action.
I need a motion, though.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 2112 establishing April 6th of next month at noon for a public hearing authorizing Floyd Valley Healthcare Specialty Clinic and Therapy Expansion Project and refinancing outstanding debt.
Second. Motion made and second to adopt the resolution number 21-12 establishing April 6, 2021 at 12 p.m. for a public hearing authorizing the Floyd Valley Healthcare Specialty Clinic and Therapy Expansion Project with refinancing of an outstanding indebtedness. We have roll call on that, Bev?
Knapp,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Goodchild.
Yes.
Conlon,
Yes.
Witten.
Yes. Motion carried. Thanks again.
Thanks for coming along and support.
Yeah, thank you. Ralph. You're kind of quiet. But that's all right.
I came for lunch.
Be hungry. Okay, moving on. E2, the RAGBRAI Agreement. Attached is an agreement provided by the Ventures Endurance LLC, DBA RAGBRAI. The 2020 RAGBRAI Expo and Overnight Town Agreement addresses the terms and the conditions to which RAGBRAI will utilize Lamar's for the 2021 RAGBRAI event. The recommendation by the city administrator and the city attorney have reviewed the agreement and recommends the council approval. Questions?
I got a couple questions. How is the town's choice on charitable donation decided? Who decided that, like the executive RAGBRAI committee, or who decided?
Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
They just, okay.
And I'm sure advisory committee will have a say in that.
That's fine. I was just
They've got, I think they've got, don't they have their own treasurer, Jason?
Finance.
Finance, yeah.
I was just curious how it was determined.
Yeah.
So, there's a few things in here that do concern me, but the main one is, item number 4, and it's termination. RAGBRAI may terminate this agreement up to 30 days before, the rental term by informing the tenant in writing. We don't have that same escape clause, do we? That's a one-way escape, right? RAGBRAI can say we're not gonna do it, but we can't say you're not gonna do it. Is that correct?
I mean, it's their event, so I mean, yeah, they can decide to.
It's their event using our town, so, but we can't say up to 30 days before, hey, wait a minute, we've changed our mind.
Well, we could, I mean, it cause a huge ripple.
I mean, there could potentially be an out under paragraph 10 of the agreement. But, you know, this basically, you know, our obligations are set out in paragraph 5, the A through N. Number 7 shows that RAGBRAI has their own policy that will cover liability associated with their participants. That wouldn't be with our public that takes place, but we have insurance for those events. But basically, your question would be, I mean, if we decide we don't want to do this, the sooner the better, would be the response that I would have to prevent any problems.
Any other questions? Hearing none, I entertain a motion to approve the 2021 RAGBRAI Expo and Overnight Town Agreement.
Has everybody's,
Oh, excuse me.
everybody's looked at it, just to make sure everybody's read it.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
it hasn't, nothing changed. I think I sent one out, as soon as they sent it out, I distributed it to everybody. The only thing that had changed in it was there was an error in the date.
Yeah, we're
In the
is
very
that
front.
February 30th?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That fictional.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that changed. There were other questions that were asked of RAGBRAI, but none of that has changed. So it's the same wording, it's the same agreement that you guys had originally seen.
You know, one thing that I do see is we still have a lot of businesses that have their doors closed. You can't go into them. And I do struggle with bringing this amount of people to our town.
The businesses are closed.
Well, they're closed to walk in traffic. Businesses
Are
that,
businesses here in town?
sure, there are businesses here in town that are parties. You can't walk in and sit down.
Oh, I see.
Unless that's changed in the last,
But their
I don't
business,
believe Clem's lobby's open. I don't think you can walk
but
in.
their business is isn't closed.
No, I said
Oh.
they're open to the public,
Yeah.
open to the
I
public.
see your point
And so if there's people that are that concerned about people walking into their businesses, I struggle with this, but, yeah, and I just wanted to say that, I just wanted to.
And to go along with that, my concern follows that, are the volunteers that,
I agree.
are they gonna step forward like they always do and volunteer for this if there's still that concern there? That's my concern as well.
Yeah, I'm concerned.
Motion to approve the 2021 RAGBRAI Expo overnight conference.
Second to the motion?
Motion made and second to approve the 2021 RAGBRAI Expo and Overnight Town Agreement. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, moving on to Cleveland Park.
I thought you adjourned the meeting.
We wanted to get everybody's attention. Just an attention. You got your attention, didn't you?
I thought, are we done already?
Motion to resume the meeting.
Kick me out.
You want me to hit it again, so start over?
Get kicked out the road.
Okay, moving on to E3, underneath the action items. Plans have been prepared by Schofield Engineering for the Cleveland Park parking lot improvement project. The parking lot will be constructed to give greater accessibility to the recently constructed playground and the planned restrooms of the east end of the park. Our recommendation is the administration recommends approval by the council to proceed with the following schedule. Public hearing, the date set for April 6, 2021. To receive the bids is May 6, 2021 at 2 p.m. Award the contract on May 18, 2021. And to start construction July 19th of 2021. Construction completion date as of September 1st of 2021. The financial estimate of the project is $57,500, and the project will be funded through the Public Facilities Fiscal Year 22 year budget. Any questions?
57,000 requires all this stuff? I thought we could go to 100,000 before we.
That's the comment I was gonna make.
Okay, sorry about that. I
That,
didn't mean to step on.
the list of projects that I had given out a few months ago, I think I had originally had in there 110.
Yeah, I think it was, it's over 100, I thought it was 100 and it broke up.
So hopefully it falls somewhere in between, at the worst case scenario, somewhere in between.
Okay. So we're doing this just to make sure we get adequate bids? Is that what we're doing? Or what if we get adequate bids, but we don't like bid A, but like bid B? Are we gonna get in trouble by doing it this way?
I mean, yeah, I know what you're getting. I mean, so this doesn't fall under the threshold where it has to be bid.
Right.
Okay. I still like the bidding. I guess I like the bidding process better.
I'm not saying I don't, I'm just saying that there's sometimes when we got ourselves caught.
You always have the option to reject all bids when the time comes.
Yeah, I know, and I can do that, but I just want everybody to be aware, on a smaller job like this, there's more potential for differences in bidding. That's gonna have differences in a completed project. So, as long as you guys are reviewing these things and very careful about making sure we're getting apples and
Yeah.
apples, I'm okay with it.
I'm not sure what you're asking, because I'm not tracking, sorry.
Well, if you're under 100,000, you don't.
I
go through the whole
realize that, I
process.
get that part. I get
What I also know is we've had some projects, i.e. through the state, that we have to pick the lowest bidder. And then we went through, we had to pick the lowest responsible bidder.
Gotcha,
Stuff like that.
gotcha, yeah.
Because we've had issues with concrete work or whatever the case may be. And this one is kind of a goofy deal, because we're bidding on a restroom, and we're building on concrete and stuff like that, so it's not, it's something that, depending on the consistency of the concrete, the type of the facing on the structure and whatever, you could get a lot of different bids. And I just wanna make sure that we've taken that into consideration when we come in here with a $60,000 and $80,000 bid, and you guys can tell me which one you like better.
Is Is it for the restroom?
No.
No, we already did the rest.
Right, but I'm saying that area is what I'm talking about.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, so this, I think this way, Rex, we get more consistency.
Okay.
Because there are specs created, there are plans created, so every bidder is basically going off of the same stuff.
Okay.
It cuts down on the errors of if we just made phone calls to 2 or 3 of them.
Okay. 'Cause
Okay,
we have had.
words can get misconstrued, and then there's questions, well, you didn't tell me that, those
Well,
types of things.
That's what I wanna make sure we're not doing, because we've done it, and we've had it with
Yeah.
subdivisions, we've had it with streets that we accepted after the developer put it in, and then we have to fix them.
Yeah.
And
But then we're not obligated to take the lowest bid either, correct?
No.
I mean.
Yeah, this
I
isn't,
mean, we can
this
look at-
isn't contingent on state money or federal
Okay,
money.
good
If
enough.
it was state money, you gotta take the lowest bidder.
That I know, that I know.
So all I wanna do is make sure that everybody's looking at it with the same glasses, that's all I was caring about. But that's fine, I do like the consistency, because I think there's inconsistency in this kind of work, let's put it that way. That's just my opinion.
Any other questions? Now, I'd entertain a motion.
Motion established April 6, 2021, 12 p.m., public hearing plan specification form contract estimate cost Cleveland Park parking lot improvement project, and established in May 6, 2021, at 2 p.m. to receive and open bids with said bids to be considered at the May 18th, 21 meeting.
Is there a second?
So moved.
Motion made and seconded to establish April 6, 2021 at 12 p.m. noon for a public hearing on the plans, specifications, form of contract, and estimated cost for the Cleveland Park parking lot improvement project, and to establish May 6, 2021 at 2 p.m. to receive and open bids with the said bids to be considered at the May 18, 2021 meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Okay, moving on to discussion. City Administrator Jason Crowe? Yeah, Jason?